Hello, viewers. I am back live on YouTube. Again, my only wish is that hopefully the internet will be reliable so that I am audible and visible consistently. So I am back live again on YouTube again to talk about what I was up to on YouTube over the last 1 week. I have uploaded videos titled videos number 231 all the way up to 236, and I would like to talk about them one by one. So video 231 was a spur of the moment video that I made called Sunday Siesta, and it has received many views actually. It's the most popular video that I made in the last week. It just reflects my Sundays and how I enjoy certain cuisines and what I do after having that food. So that was amazing, and the response I got. Video number 232 talked about my feelings about exams during MBBS, how I used to encounter each exam and how I felt during each exam, and especially also before the publication of results. So I talked about that. It was a trip down memory lane, so to speak. Video number 233 talked about the Kalamazoo declaration, or the Kalamazoo Essential Communication Checklist. Now, this checklist is important not just from the point of view of certain exams like MBBS exams where 8 is assessed, attitude, ethics and communication, or certain OSCE pattern exams like MRCS, ENT, OSCE where the communication skills are assessed, or other exams which doctors have to take to prove that they know how to communicate with patients. This Kalamazoo declaration also is important for doctors in their day-to-day interactions with patients. Now, if you have to memorize what is there in the checklist, then there's already a problem. You don't need to memorize it. You should practice it. If you practice it day to day, then you remember it. And the idea is to improve how you communicate with your patients, not just to pass a certain exam. So it includes 7 essential components, 7 essential parts are there in the essential checklist, as was discussed in the Kalamazoo conference in Kalamazoo in Michigan State of the United States of America. Leading experts from Canada and the United States participated in this conference. So the 7 essential aspects of the Kalamazoo Essential Communication Checklist are starting with building relationship with the patient. So you have to build relationship before you start the discussion. Now, how do you build relationship before you even started the discussion? By ensuring that they are seated in a comfortable fashion, that they are waiting in a comfortable fashion. All of that sometimes is beyond the capacity of the doctor, but you have to remember that the patient is visiting a certain establishment because they need something from you as a doctor. So while they are waiting for you, that wait should also be comfortable. You cannot just wash your hands off it, in my humble opinion. So first is build a relationship. Then you start the discussion, open the discussion. And the discussion should be opened in an appropriate manner, preferably with a greeting. You can also introduce yourself, and then you should definitely try to start the discussion with an open question. Allow the patient to express themselves. Don't interrupt them. That's the worst thing you can do, in my opinion. Allow the patient to completely articulate what they want to say, why they are there, and then you can jump in. Next up is, after you open the discussion, then you should gather information. Then you can ask specific questions which are pertinent, which are relevant to the diagnosis. And once you have got all the information, you should also understand the patient's perspective. Sore throat for someone may mean a routine affair, for someone else can raise fears of cancer of the throat. So understand the patient's perspective before you share the information. Once you've shared the information, you have to agree to a plan of management with the patient, because the patient's opinion is also important. And once you've done all these 6 things, finally you should provide closure. Okay, so there should be a definite plan of action going ahead, whether they should come back for follow-up or not. If they do want to come back for follow-up, then how to come back for follow-up. All of that is important. So 7 essential components of the Kalamazoo Essential Communication Checklist, starting with building relationship, then opening discussion, then gathering information, understanding patient's perspective, sharing information, agreeing to a plan of management, and finally providing closure. So that was the video number 233, Kalamazoo. Video number 234 shared a mental condition, I would like to call it. I don't know if it's a condition or it's a symptom. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I do have difficulty experiencing pleasure, especially with the activities which many people find pleasure in. So the medical term is anhedonia, and I feel I have anhedonia because when I became an intern, all my friends were jubilant, and I was just worried. So anhedonia, I don't really have many pleasant memories of internship, to be really honest. Internship was a 1 year which took a lot out of me. To be fair, it took me a lot to understand how internship started, and by the time I understood what an intern was supposed to do, it was over. And then I realized that whatever we learned during internship, we have to keep doing it throughout our lives. So with the benefit of that, I was able to understand the importance of internship. But internship is a very important phase in the life of a doctor, and for me it was quite challenging because the workload was quite extreme. Now in video number 235, I talk about the top 50 IMDb movies. So I have had the privilege of watching many movies over my life. So I realized that of the top 50 movies on the Internet Movie Database website, this is owned by Amazon, by the way, IMDb, the top 50 movies, out of the top 50 movies, I have seen 43 of them. 7 I have not seen, 2 of which are fairly recent, Dune Part 2 and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So I'll definitely watch them. And the other 5 also, which I have not watched, which are part of the top 50, they are on my must-watch list. And the most recent video that I uploaded only yesterday was Mysore Palace. I recently visited Mysore Palace with a friend of mine, actually a senior, but he's more like a friend now. But he remains a senior. I respect him immensely. So I had the opportunity to visit Mysore Palace, and strangely, the screensaver on my phone is the exact is a picture of Mysore Palace. I never knew this. I actually did not know this. But I went to Mysore Palace, and then I looked at my phone, and I felt that I have been looking at this place for a very long time, and because I've been looking at my phone. So it is a place which was familiar even before I visited it, and it was a surreal experience. So highly recommended, but it's very crowded. I don't know if it deserves to be that crowded. Maybe a little bit of crowd management would be helpful. So that's it for this week. Thank you for joining me on the YouTube Live. I'll see you again next week. Take care.